Hello and welcome to The Political Sphere, the show focusing on the biggest stories in politics in the last week. I'm Lawrence Jeffcoat and here are the biggest stories in politics in the last week. And firstly, in US political news this week, we saw US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo announce the US would be suspending its treaty with Russia in the Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty. The US has accused Russia of breaching the terms of the treaty by placing missiles near the border of its borders with Europe, and also with its new range in its certain missile capabilities, which would also breach the terms. The treaty was set in 1987 and signed by then Soviet Union President Mikhail Gorbachev and then US President Ronald Reagan. The US has given Russia 60 days to comply with the treaty, although it's caused a lot of concern within the media, as there is some causes for concern that it would cause a new arms race between the US and Russia. Russia has disputed the US claims. And on the weekend, we saw another Democrat enter the field for gaining the nomination for President of the United States, with Cory Booker, the senator from New Jersey, announcing that he would be running to gain the nomination for the presidency. Mr. Booker is currently a sitting member of the Senate Judiciary Committee. His slogan currently is "We Will Rise," and on his political campaign website, he has announced that he would not be taking any money from PACs or political lobbyists. Mr. Booker joins a number of Democrats in the field hoping to gain the nomination, including Kirsten Gillibrand, Elizabeth Warren, Kamala Harris, Tulsi Gabbard, and Julian Castro. And this week, we also saw the Democratic governor from Virginia, Ralph Northam, in hot water over a photo of him which came from a yearbook. Mr. Northam apologised for this photo and later did a 180, taking back his apology. The photo in question includes a man in blackface standing next to a person who was wearing an outfit which resembles that of an outfit of the Ku Klux Klan. Mr. Northam in a press conference stated that he had maybe not been him in the photo and took back his apology, although he stated that around that time he did do blackface for a Michael Jackson outfit. The photo has conceived condemnation from across the political aisle, including his own party, with Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi stating in a tweet, "The photo is racist and contrary to fundamental American values. I join my colleagues in Virginia calling on Governor Northam to do the right thing so that the people of the Commonwealth of Virginia can heal and move forward." Mr. Northam has stated that he would not resign. And this week, the State of the Union was held in the House chambers in the US, with the President inviting multiple guests, including those who are families of victims murdered by illegal immigrants and success stories from the President's prison reforms. Kellyanne Conway, prior to the State of the Union, said that the President would call for unity and compromise between the Democrats and the Republicans after the government shutdown. Some notable promises and statements from the President included, if there is going to be peace and legislation, there cannot be war and investigation, and that he would give paid family leave so that parents can take leave when they have a newborn child. Also, in the chambers at the time, there was notably a group of women who were wearing white to pay homage to suffragettes, as this Congress has the largest amount of women in Congress in the US's history. Also, we saw that the former Georgia governor candidate Stacey Abrams gave the Democrat response. Miss Abrams called out the President and the Republicans as to put the blame on them for the government shutdown which recently happened. Miss Abrams also stated that voter suppression is real. As always, the links are in the description below, including the President's full State of the Union speech, a shortened version with the key highlights of that speech, and also the Democratic rebuttal by Stacey Abrams, along with some other articles which may help to see the guests that the President had and also analysis on the speech. And lastly, in US political news this week, we also saw that the President's inaugural committee was subpoenaed. Although right now nobody knows exactly what the investigation is looking for, there have been reports that indicate that the subpoena and the investigation overall is looking for foreign connections and donors to the inaugural committee. Press Secretary Sarah Sanders said that the subpoenas have nothing to do with the White House. If you want to see more on this story, I've put some links in the description below. And in Australian news this week, we saw Royal Commissioner Kenneth Haynes submit his final report for the Royal Commission into Misconduct in the Banking, Superannuation and Financial Services Industry. I have linked the full 530-page PDF document in the description below for anyone who wants to read it. I haven't had a full chance to read it, so I'm going off summaries and also analysis on the full document. Although the government has stated that they would support all 76 recommendations, the media was, in the beginning of the week, more focusing on a sort of funny, awkward moment between Treasurer Josh Frydenberg and Royal Commissioner Kenneth Hayne, where in a photo op, Kenneth Hayne did not want to shake hands with the Treasurer. You can see that in the description below as well. Major recommendations from the Royal Commission include commissions being eliminated from the financial sector entirely, which would include banking, financial planning, mortgage brokering, and sales on insurance policies, and potential charges on institutions as well. For more information on that, I have linked more links in the description below. This week we saw Prime Minister Scott Morrison visit flood-affected areas of Townsville. In the past week, Townsville has received well over a metre of rain, which has caused fast-moving floodwaters to take over suburban areas. The PM talked with local residents whilst he was visiting with the ADF. The PM also announced that there would be $1,000 grants available for those who are affected by the floods. And lastly, in Australian political news, we have right now a developing story as I'm recording this video. We have, according to the ABC, a cyber breach on the Australian Parliament computer network which took place last night, which, according to the ABC, could be the result of a foreign government attack. Authorities have not detected if any data was stolen, computer passwords in Parliament have been reset, and for more information I will link more links in the description below so you can see what happens after I've uploaded this video, where information may be updated and the public may be more informed. And in international news this week, we saw a number of European nations recognise Juan Guaidó as the interim president of Venezuela. These nations have followed in the footsteps of the US and many South American nations. The nations in support of Guaidó include France, Germany, Portugal, Britain, Spain, Austria, the Netherlands, Sweden, Denmark, Latvia, and Lithuania. The European nations have urged Guaidó to hold free elections as soon as possible. To see more about these stories, be sure to check the description below. Also, be sure to like the video and comment what you thought about the past week in the political sphere. Also, check the description for other political stories which may gauge your interest, including UN findings on the death of Jamal Khashoggi. Be sure to tune in next week.